Something that no one tells you when you're starting to change your life is that it also will change who gets to stay in it. This is something that was really eye-opening for me during my journey of becoming who I am now and opening my eyes to reaching the goals and achieving that higher version of myself that I've always wanted to become. There's a lot of people that I've had in my life and who are no longer there, who I thought were going to be in my life forever, who I thought I would have every single day talking to them, who I thought I would have the strongest relationships with for the longest times. And I didn't realize that keeping them there was also a block into my own growth. So I had to make the sacrifices to distance myself, which turned into never speaking to them again or not having them in my life or being as close to them as I once was. In exchange for that, grew my confidence, helped me achieve my goals, and allowed me to be happy with who I am and proud and confident because I realized that this is my life and I deserve that. That's one of the things that does come with choosing yourself and loving yourself first. No one really talks about this, but it is a part of life. It is a part of this journey. And you have to be willing to make that sacrifice in order to grow, in order to break through, and to achieve everything you've always wanted. Let's talk about it. Growth always sounds exciting online. When we're younger, we get sad if our friends don't want to be our friends, if are telling each other secrets and you want in on this secret, but they don't want to tell you. Like they're clearly excluding you and stuff. And like it hurts so much when you're a kid because you don't realize, okay, when you're an adult, you realize like, okay, like what am I doing making myself feel small with people that I call my friends? You know, you start to really open your eyes and realize, okay, why do I have to feel this way? What's someone I call my friend? What's someone I love? What's someone that's has to be in my life? The thing about growth is that it's lonely before it's empowering. The best thing I did was actually open my eyes to this concept and realize that not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some people are just there to teach you a lesson. And at first it hurts, it stings, even if it might be the only people that you have in your life, the only people that you can call your friends, and you realize that they're not good for you in your growth, in your journey to become the highest version of yourself, to reach the success and to achieve all the goals you want to achieve for yourself. And it's a scary thing to realize, and I'm here to share it with you that this is what it comes with and that you're going to be okay at the end of it, because I'm okay at the end of it. You grow so much. It could feel lonely, yes, but you know how much power it is to be alone and to still be fulfilled and to find happiness and fulfillment when you can do those things by yourself. That's why I really emphasize on self-love and trying to do things alone, because at the end of the day, you really just have yourself. At the end of the day, nobody wants your goals and wants you to achieve those goals as much as you do. We're all living for ourselves. You think anyone else is worried about how you need to achieve your goals? No, they're focused on themselves. Maybe, yeah, you have supporters, but at the end, they're not gonna, like you're the only person, you're the only center of your own world. The hardest thing is realizing that not everyone is at a point in their life where they're willing to grow in that way for themselves. And it's also not in our control. This is one thing I realized. It's not in my control to try and have someone keep up with you and where your mind is at. That was one of the things that really hurt me, to try and keep people in my life because I wanted them there, because I loved them so much. But I realized that it wasn't my place to try to get them to keep up to where I am, to get them to have a mindset like I do. Then it caused me pain because I emotionally stressed myself out by it. And then I realized, okay, like this is my life and my journey is starting now, and maybe theirs is gonna start when they are ready to, but it's not in my control to decide when they can start or when they should start. The other thing, so discipline is a huge thing that has changed a lot of my standards. I believe because I've built so much discipline around my life with eating healthy, going to the gym, using my free time to go study instead of watching a TV show, or reading a book instead of watching a TV show, like those little things that no one's asking me to do or no one's telling me to do, but I do it out of my own free will. Like, my own responsibility is to get these things done. When you start to have that discipline and you start to practice it, your standards change so much in terms of who you let into your life, the energy that you let into your life, the way people treat you, all of it. It changes. And it's changed for me so much. Because I built so much discipline in my life, it has caused me to have a lot more self-respect for myself. There was a time where I had no discipline and I didn't have self-respect, and I would let a lot of people walk all over me. I'm so proud of myself though, because this gets me so emotional. I'm really proud of myself because, you know that thing where people say, like, look at the younger version of yourself and like, would she be proud of who you are now? That's what I always used to think back about, because the youngest version of myself was so weak and didn't have any self-respect for herself. But like, now I feel so proud of myself because I actually always stand up for myself. I always stand up for what's right. I always stick to the opinions that I have, and I don't let what other people think influence me to think something else just because everyone else is thinking it and I'm the only person not, you know? I've grown so much self-respect in that way, and confidence. Like, all these things collectively contribute to who I am and the reason that I am the way I am. I'm very comfortable with being myself. I'm very happy with who I am, alone or with people. I surround myself with people that make me feel good, that are not constantly complaining or upset or drained, or, you know, like all those things. Like, don't get me wrong. I can feel sad. I can feel drained. I can feel like annoyed, and other people can too. But you know when someone is constantly draining your energy based off how you feel after you hang out with them. And what I was trying to say is that the discipline that I've implemented into my life and that I constantly do for myself has allowed me to have a standard to which allows my energy to be given to others or not. I'm like so big on protecting my energy, and as I should. I don't owe my energy to anyone. Okay? Like, I can love people from a distance. They might be not be in my life anymore, but I could still like wish you well. Like, even all the friends that I'm not friends with anymore, even if they probably think I hate them. This is so crazy. I actually had a friend that I no longer speak to, and I just say hey to her at the gym. Like, we were literally best friends, and I'll just like wave to her because like there's no bad blood. There really isn't. Like, you were once a person in my life and you're not anymore, and that's okay. I've come to terms with it. And look, people that are meant to be in your life will come back, will stay, or you will find. Okay? And I have peace in that. But I'm not going to keep trying to change and like control the outcome of my life. I'm just going to live my life to how I want to what makes me happy, to what I feel good in, and not try to control or make someone become this person just because I want them to stay in my life. That's something you have to realize. Your focus really needs to just be on yourself in order for you to attract the right people in your life, in order for you to see who is good for you and who isn't good for you, because that in the long run is really going to affect you. Always remember that outgrowing is alignment. It's not betrayal. It's gonna come to a shock when you realize things aren't working out. A relationship with you and a friend, you and a partner isn't gonna work out because it's not meant to. And constantly trying to fix it, especially if this is something that you constantly have to go through, a problem that keeps arising, you have to sit there and really think to yourself, can this be fixed? One thing I did when I was in a relationship at the time was I was in a really bad relationship where on and off we would like break up, get back together, like that whole like toxic stuff, right? And I remember I saw this thing where like one of the times we like actually broke up, I told myself, if like you feel sad, of course, because then you're just like, you break up and then you start to think of like all the good things and then you miss them and you're like, oh my god, why did I break up? Like, I miss you all. That's why we went back and forth, because we were just like not controlled. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I told myself, if I were to go back now, what would change? Can the person change within one day of not talking? Can the person change within 1 week, 1 month? Is that enough time for someone to grow and self-reflect and become a better version in order for you to have them as the person you need them to be? The same way it works for you though. Like, you are just as responsible for growing up, for having that self-reflection in order for you to understand and take ownership for your role and why it didn't work out. It's such a huge thing, but it's not gonna be easy for you to stay with them and to let that person, or to let yourself grow and, you know, like mature and own up to your behalf. That's like the best signal of what growth is that you can literally own up to your mistakes. Like, what ownership can you take in why the relationship didn't work anymore, why it doesn't work anymore? That's real growth. Having ownership for the fact that the relationship didn't just work just because of them. We're literally just as responsible. We need to have that ownership for all the relationships in our life, all the circumstances in our life. And what we can't control, stop giving that power. Like, let it go, accept it. It's just a lesson now. This is life though. Like, you have to realize that some people just aren't in that mind space to do it and they need more time. And if you can do it for yourself and be at peace with it and not send hate their way, or just, like, maybe you can be angry, yes, but if you hold that anger for so long, you will never actually find peace within yourself. Trust me. If you keep that resentment here, that hate, it's going to torture you more than it's going to torture them. I think karma is real. So I don't ever think about revenge, because I think, okay, if someone's going to do me wrong, I do not need to go to your level. Because if someone does you wrong, they're down here. And if you go and try to match that, you're all the way down here with them, babe. You know what? They can mistreat you, and that's just who they are. If you can keep your cool, if you can keep your calm and your peace, that's just how they are. They will have their own consequences. The other thing I want to talk about is that the right person will never ask you to shrink. Protecting your energy, I'm so big on this, because you work so hard on yourself and you can want to help other people that aren't there yet, but whether you know it or not, it really will affect your energy and your fuel that you have grown for yourself to become that higher version of yourself. And that's why at times you don't even realize that the people that you continue to keep in your life can be the very blockage that's limiting you from achieving your growth and from achieving the goals that you want to achieve. It's really a wake-up call and an aha moment to have, and it's scary. It's so scary to know that maybe the only friend that you have in your life is so toxic for you. It's so scary. It's so scary, and it's the worst feeling, and you fear of being lonely. And that's why it's really important to try to have that fulfillment within yourself, and to practice doing things alone, and to practice going out alone, whether it's out to go get your prescription at CVS, whether it's out to go pick up another bottle of your moisture, whatever you need to do, like little things that you can do for yourself alone, go do it. And even if it's like as small as staying in your car and just going through a car wash by yourself, like going to do something like that for yourself. But it's so important to practice doing things alone and to be able to be okay with doing things alone. If there's something that you want to do and you keep waiting for someone else to be ready to do it, you're literally trying to find happiness in something extrinsic. Find it within yourself. It changes your life. It changed my life. But look, you're never going to have to shrink for anybody. If you feel like you keep having to lower your standard for someone else, maybe you guys just aren't aligned. And maybe it could just not be at the right time. Maybe they're just not ready. But if you keep exposing yourself to that energy that is shrinking you, it's only going to hold you back from your life. This is literally your life. Yours. Don't shrink for anybody else. You can literally do this all with pure love. It's not like you have to hate anyone. You just have to communicate these things. It's uncomfortable, but I'd rather feel uncomfortable for a little bit of time than to constantly let myself feel uncomfortable for a long period of time. Do what you need to do. Protect your energy if you really want growth, if you really want change, if you want to change your life and you feel like you're stuck. Sit down and reflect on your life. Who is in your life? What job? Growth is uncomfortable, and things will change once you sit there and you realize that some people just aren't meant to be in your life. Maybe one day again. But in order for you to grow, you have to be a little bit selfish and protect your energy, because that's really going to affect the outcome and the time that you take to get to where you really want to be. I know it's difficult, but it's an important reflection to make in your life, because you deserve to be happy and you deserve to achieve all of your goals. Okay? Love you.